Hey, Kevin! What are you doing?
I'm studying for a test over the body.
I don't see a body. It looks like an ordinary book to me.
No, Marco. I'm learning about the human body.
Ooh, that can be a lot of material.
It is, but it's really interesting. I'm even considering becoming a doctor, or maybe doing medical research.
Wonderful! There are so many fascinating jobs in the medical field.
Yeah, and learning about the human body is fun.
I have an idea. Why don't we join Bailey, our life science expert, on my super science station to learn more about the human body?
All right!
Hi, guys! Welcome to the Body Systems Learning Center.
Thanks, Bailey.
Your body is made up of many different systems. Here at the Body Systems Learning Center, we'll take a look at how some of the systems in your body work together to keep you going.
Your skeletal system keeps you from looking like a beanbag on the floor. It's made up of bones that support the rest of your body.
You should be sure to get plenty of calcium in your diet. Calcium helps build and maintain strong bones.
Some bones protect important, delicate parts of your body. For example, the skull is kind of like a helmet inside your head that protects your brain.
Your brain is the control center for your entire body. It's part of the nervous system.
Your nervous system also includes the nerves. Thin threads of nerve cells called neurons run throughout your body.
I heard that the nerves carry messages back and forth.
That's right. Nerves generally connect to the brain through the spinal cord inside your backbone. Sensory nerves send messages to the brain from the body.
Motor nerves carry messages from the brain to all the muscles and glands in your body.
Exactly. And it's your muscular system that allows you to move. Many of your muscles are attached to your bones with tendons. These are called skeletal muscles.
But there are other kinds of muscles that help move things inside of you, like food or blood.
Isn't blood part of the
circulatory system?
Yeah, that one.
The circulatory system is an organ system that moves nutrients, gases, and wastes to and from cells. The circulatory system is also called the cardiovascular system. It includes the heart, the blood, and blood vessels.
Blood is the fluid that circulates around the body, bringing to your cells the nutrients and gases your body needs. Blood also gets rid of the waste your cells produce.
Wow, blood is pretty important.
But wait, there's more. Some cells in the blood help fight diseases, and the circulating blood also helps maintain your body temperature.
The heart is the main engine of the circulatory system. It's a large muscle made of 4 different chambers, 2 on the right and 2 on the left.
The right side of the heart pumps deoxygenated blood into the lungs so that carbon dioxide can be dropped off and oxygen can be picked up. The left side of the heart pumps the oxygenated blood all the way to the rest of the body.
That's why the left side of the heart is bigger than the right. It has to work harder.
Are there any other parts of the circulatory system?
I'm glad you asked. The arteries and veins are tube-like vessels. Arteries take blood from the heart, and veins bring blood back to the heart.
And each time the blood circulates from the heart out to the body, about 20% of it goes through the kidneys. The kidneys filter out some of the waste before the blood heads back to the heart.
The kidneys are actually part of the urinary system. The urinary system removes waste from the blood, converts it to urine, and stores it until it's tinkle time.
Marco. The kidneys are two bean-shaped organs. They filter waste called urea from the blood. They combine the urea with extra water from the body to produce urine. Then the urine passes down two thin tubes called ureters to the bladder.
The bladder is a hollow balloon-shaped organ that holds the urine until it's time to go to the bathroom. Then the urine passes out a small tube called the urethra and out of your body.
And then you can breathe easy.
You sure can, with your lungs.
Which are part of the respiratory system. The respiratory system allows oxygen into the blood and lets carbon dioxide leave the blood.
That sounds simple enough.
But let's go through all the parts of the respiratory system so we can understand how it works.
This large muscle attached to the lungs is called the diaphragm. When it contracts, the lungs pull in air and you take a breath.
Air enters through the nose into the nasal cavity. As it flows through the nasal passages, the air gets filtered, warmed, and moistened. Mucus along these passages traps dust and particles in the air to clean it before it gets to the lungs. After the nasal passages, the air travels past the larynx, or voice box. Then the air moves down the trachea, or windpipe. The trachea joins the upper respiratory tract to the lungs. If you gently touch the front of your throat, you can feel the trachea.
Nice, Marco! Your description of the upper respiratory system is like a breath of fresh air. But let me tell you what happens once the air gets into the lungs. At the bottom of the trachea are two large tubes. These tubes are called the main stem bronchi. One goes into the left lung, and the other goes into the right lung. Each main stem bronchus then branches off into tubes, or bronchi. They get smaller and smaller, like branches on a tree. The tiniest tubes are called bronchioles, and there are about 30,000 of them in each lung. Each bronchiole is about the same thickness as a hair.
At the end of each bronchiole is a special area that leads into clumps of tiny air sacs called alveoli. There are about 500 million alveoli in your lungs. Each alveolus has a net-like covering of small blood vessels called capillaries. These capillaries are so tiny that the cells in your blood need to line up single file just to get through them.
Whoa, capillaries are really tiny.
Yes, they are. The alveolus is the pickup place for oxygen, which the cells in your body need to work. And they're also the drop-off place for carbon dioxide, which is a waste product from your cells.
Hey, that's the exact opposite of what plants do.
Smart boy! I like the way you think. Your lungs are important for breathing, but they are also important for talking, which I just love to do.
We know, Marco. Above the trachea is the larynx, or voice box. Across the voice box are two pieces of tissue called vocal cords. When the vocal cords are open, air flows through freely. When they partially close, as you exhale, they vibrate to make sounds.
Hey, that's pretty cool.
Sounds like your tummy wants to talk.
I guess I'm a little hungry.
Perfecto! Let's talk about the digestive system while you eat this orange. We'll talk about where that orange will travel as it makes its way through your digestive system. Your body actually gets ready for digestion before you eat. Just seeing or smelling food creates saliva or spit in your mouth. When you eat food, the saliva breaks down the chemicals in the food a little. Your tongue helps out too, pushing the food around while you chew with your teeth. When you're ready to swallow, the tongue pushes the mushed up food toward the back of your throat and into the opening of your esophagus, the second part of the digestive tract.
The esophagus is a stretchy pipe that's about 10 inches long. It moves food from the back of your throat to your stomach. When you swallow, a special flap called the epiglottis flaps down over the opening of your windpipe to make sure the food enters the esophagus and not the windpipe. Muscles in the walls of the esophagus move in a wavy motion to slowly squeeze the food through the esophagus. This takes about 2 or 3 seconds.
Your stomach is attached to the end of the esophagus. It's a stretchy sack shaped sort of like the letter J. It has 3 important jobs: to store the food you've eaten, to break down the food into a pulpy liquid mixture, and to slowly empty that liquid mixture into the small intestine.
The stomach is like a mixer, churning and mashing together all the small balls of food that come down the esophagus into smaller and smaller pieces. It does this with help from the strong muscles in the walls of the stomach and gastric juices that also come from the stomach's walls. In addition to breaking down food, gastric juices also help kill bacteria that might be in the food.
This small intestine is a long tube with about a 1-inch diameter. It's packed inside you beneath your stomach. An adult small intestine is about 22 feet long.
The small intestine breaks down the food mixture even more, so your body can absorb all the vitamins, minerals, proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. The small intestine can help extract these nutrients with a little help from the pancreas, liver, and gallbladder. Those organs send different fluids to the first part of the small intestine. These juices help to digest food and allow the body to absorb nutrients. The pancreas makes enzymes that help the body digest fats and protein. A fluid from the liver, called bile, helps to absorb fats into the bloodstream. And the gallbladder serves as a warehouse for bile, storing it until the body needs it.
Food may spend as long as 4 hours in the small intestine. During that time, the food becomes a very thin, watery mixture. Nutrients in the food are absorbed into the blood and go to the liver. The leftover waste, or the part of the food your body can't use, goes on to the large intestine.
The nutrient-rich blood comes directly to the liver for processing. The liver filters out harmful substances or wastes and turns some of the waste into more bile. The liver even helps figure out how many nutrients will go to the rest of the body and how many will stay behind in storage. For example, the liver can store certain vitamins and a type of sugar your body uses for energy.
At about 2.5 inches across, the large intestine is thicker than the small intestine, and it's almost the last stop on the digestive tract. Like the small intestine, it is packed into the body and would measure 5 feet long if you spread it out.
Let's not try that.